it's Sophia Wren, and I help fun-loving mermaids at heart to access their creative genius so that they can write for their book or their business. It's so applicable to so many things, but for me, the people I'm really here to serve have something to offer the world. They have a gift, they have something they want to say, they have work they want to do with people to change their lives, to make an impact on the world, and I'm here to help them connect to their audience. And this is something that can be applied in so many ways, but I'm just going to really specifically be talking to you as if you are one of my people, one of the people who deep down has always known things, has always known something. And you could have been younger in a time in your life where people didn't see what you saw, where people were not able to go on the journey with you when you discuss with them your views on the world or your feelings or your thoughts. And you might have been a little ahead of your time. You might have been an old soul. And the reactions other people might have been to say, oh, I don't know why you think that. That's not the way things work. You are just too sensitive and emotional. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, little girl, sit down, whether you're a boy or a girl. But the point is that you might have been invalidated or even shamed by other people in the past for what is basically being genius. Okay, so when we talk about what is genius, what is creative genius, it is something that you have always had access to deep down. It's something that has always been there. And the process of connecting to it on a more frequent basis in some ways is an unraveling of the BS and crap that other people have taught you, that society has taught you, that circumstances have informed you was important, more important than what you always intuitively knew. And it doesn't mean that it was easy to put what you knew into words, because knowing and putting things into words is different, which is why I have a job, because that's what I help people do, put things into words as a writer. Doesn't mean it's easy to put things into words, but it doesn't mean if you don't have the words that you don't know something, that your thoughts aren't coming from a genius well, that your feelings are not connecting you to something intangibly powerful that could be channeled into different things that you create to create even better results, whether that is something for your business that is going to help people or that it's going to draw clients in, whether that is a book that is going to change the world, whether that is music or dance or art or so many other things that you could create, or even something that is applicable to your life, a beautiful display in your home, a way of organizing something. There's really endless outlets for the form your creativity and your genius can take, okay? So if you're moving into a new form, like learning how to write emails or learning how to write a book or doing something in a different way with a new energy, a new message, a new clarity, it could be somewhere where you're on shaky ground and it's harder for you to understand how to channel your genius into that. And in the process, because you're kind of new to it, you can be getting some BS, you can be getting some feelings that you need to do it a certain way that invalidates your genius. So that is where it is a challenge to kind of be doing several things at one time. And that's why I want to talk about this with the context of who am I talking to? What are we trying to work on? Because we can take this conversation, we can have it for hours, but I do just kind of want to try to keep this short. So I have some notes. Let me go refer to them real quick. If anybody's here live, say hi, leave some comments. I know some people wanted to see the replay because they can't come live, and that's totally okay. Yeah. Okay, and I just want to say, if you are an old soul and you've always known things and you kind of know that you have something of value at this point, you might have doubted it some days, sometimes you might have doubts right this second, but deep down, that you're here for some reason and you have something to say. And that's not to say that you owe anyone anything. It's not your responsibility to change the world. It's not like all on you. Not in that way, okay? It's more like showing up to a party with a gift that you are happy to give, that you're excited to be at the party, and it just makes it a more enjoyable time when you show up with a gift and you get to join everybody and you get to party. That's what showing up in the world with your full-on genius self is like. And I want to reorient us into thinking about service from that place of like joining the party and having fun instead of a place of self-sacrifice or martyrdom, which is all just a lot of crap that is going to invalidate your genius and tell you that you are less important than other people. And you're not. We're all equal. We're all important. And if you want to show up at the party with your gifts and spread this sort of win-win, spread this light, then tapping into your creative genius is going to help you to do that, because that's the kind of energy it is. This is the new world that we're here to build. This is what I'm all about. And I do believe that everyone has this deep down. So I want to talk about what we need to do to access this state of mind that is genius and the crystal clear vision of what to do with it. We're going to talk about what it's not a little bit. Okay, so like I said, it is a state of mind. It's not so much what you do. It begins with a feeling or a state of consciousness and a sense of connection between different parts of you. Because when all of you is working together in a harmonious way, then you're able to access the best of you on all levels. Not all of our intelligence is in our mind. Some of it is in our body. And I think some of it is energetic and intangible. And we, honestly might not exactly know where that is. Just to say it's a part of all of you is the easiest way to describe it. And at the very depth of it, it's about choices. I think it's about choices. And I'm going to go into that more. But what it's not just something you're born with that is fated. So you might see someone who is successful and think, oh, well, they were born with this ability. They were playing piano at a really young age. Yeah. But what if their parents never chose to put a piano in their house? Or to get them an instructor? Or to show them videos of people playing piano? Or listen to the music or whatever? There were definitely things that were choices that led to that path. Whether they made it or the child made it. There were choices. So, and you can always have a gift and decide not to do anything with it. And there's no shame in that. It's your choice to do that. So it's not fated and it's not something you're necessarily born with. Although you could have a propensity. And again, you could be exposed to things from your parents or from your upbringing that do make things a little bit easier for you. But don't use that as a reason why you can't do something. Okay, the next thing is that it's not just about hard work. Again, with the piano example, you might think, okay, hours of practice, right? Of course, if you're going to be a pianist, like, that might help you to practice. But the question is, like, are you practicing the right thing? And for those of us who aren't doing something that's about rote skill and repetition, the hard work may not necessarily lead to results. There's a lot of things where you can kind of sidestep that by really focusing your energy and your time on the more effective things. And you could have very quick results without having a lot of hard work. So hard work does not necessarily equal a genius talent. So if you think about things in terms of like digging for treasure, if you were to dig a hole really, really deep to the center of the earth, it doesn't mean you're going to find treasure that's 2 feet away from you. And it wasn't the depth of the hole that mattered. It was where you were to dig. And that's how you would have accessed that. If that treasure is genius, which I think it could be. Your treasure could just be a few steps away, and it could be a few feet down, and the hole that you could dig for that doesn't need to be as deep as the center of the earth. You don't need to spend all of your time and all of your hard work to do something, to tap into something significant. It's just about where you dig. Are you digging in the right spot for you? That is why hard work does not necessarily equal genius. If you're not doing it the right way, you know what I mean? If you're not doing it the right way for you. So that's where you have to be careful, because other people could tell you something that works for them, that they worked really, really hard at, and you could find, oh my gosh, this took me way in the wrong direction. So you got to be careful. That's the other thing that is a myth, that if you just do exactly like somebody else who's an expert or who's a genius, you're going to have those results, that you're going to be a genius like them. I really wish the world worked like that because it would make things a lot easier. But unfortunately, it's not the case because we can be so very different. And when you re-access your genius, especially if you ever got disconnected from it or had any reason not to trust it, then you're going to really see how completely individual your path is and how the things that you've always kind of felt compelled to do are one of the best measures for how to re-access your genius and how to be in that zone. Like, you have the map. But the thing is, again, that sometimes we just don't put these things into words. It's something happening under the surface of us. It's something happening through our connection to ourselves and to an energy or to feelings or to thoughts that are not yet at the state of words. And you might only know the tip of the iceberg, and the rest of it is going to come as you go down that path. But as you kind of get into the groove of it, it can be easier to trust it and to have an understanding of what your genius is trying to tell you, even if you couldn't explain it to another person. And at the end of the day, you don't always need to explain it to another person. Okay, so the next thing I want to say is you need to find your genius access points, which are going to be individual to you. And if you gave yourself the respect that you would give to like a genius, I feel like we often talk about people who are a genius with this respect, with this sort of, wow. And it's like if you gave that to yourself and you gave yourself the tools that you needed and the resources that you needed and the time you need and the space you need, which isn't all about money. Some of it is just about, like I was saying, your choices, like to give yourself like the self-talk that you would to a genius. If a genius was doubting themselves and to you, you're like, oh my God, I can never do what you're doing. But a genius was saying, oh, I'm not very good at this. Like, I should just give up. You would be like, you would take a stand and you would be like, no way. Are you kidding me? Like, you have a gift for this. Why would you ever doubt yourself? Why would you ever stop? Like, the world needs you to continue. Like, you're at the cutting edge. Like, you have to keep going. You know what I mean? When I'm saying that, it's this respect that we can choose to give to ourselves, whether we've shown results, whether we've earned it or proven it to anyone else. Like, if you know deep down that you have this gift, again, it doesn't matter if you doubt it sometimes, but if you deep down know you have this gift to give to the world, it's like, it's up to you to choose to continue to feed it consciously with support and to be on your side of like cutting the BS. Like, it's like, we don't have time for people to invalidate this anymore. We don't have time for people to say that this they don't understand it yet. Or I don't have time for people to say this isn't important, because in your life it is important. In your life it is genius and it is worthy of all that crap. Just like an Olympic swimmer, like they might not have gotten the gold yet, but they're gonna like wake up at a certain time and they're gonna do the practice they need to do, and they're gonna watch all the food that they're eating, and they're gonna like invest in the coach they need or whatever they need. And it's not about the money or the time or whatever, it's about the respect, and it's about the attention, and it's about the choices. Making one choice after another that's supporting you to be your most awesome, brilliant, genius self as a gift to you. And if you have to drop the ball on something, it happens, it's okay. But you can ask yourself, like, was that reason I stayed up all night really a priority for me? Is it because I value my friends and I value our time together? And I'm glad I'm tired today because I stayed up late with my best friend and we were talking all night and I freaking love her. And that's a priority. Awesome. But it wasn't like, oh, I stayed on the phone with someone I didn't even really want to talk to, and now I have a neck cramp and then I couldn't sleep. Yada, 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 And that's where, like, again, it's individual, but when you come from a place of respect, it's easier for you to discern, am I really giving myself the opportunities I need to step into my genius, or am I letting BS get in the way? Because it's super easy to let BS get in the way because we are not trained to respect our genius from a young age. And we're not trained to realize that we were always genius from a young age. We were told, a lot of us were told, hey, you're wrong. And even if you're an adult today and you have no time for anyone saying something like that to you, doesn't mean that the message didn't on some level affect the way that you relate to your genius. It doesn't mean that on some level you were dialing something down just a little bit. And sometimes just a little bit can be enough to get out of our genius zone, because it's a state of mind, and it's kind of like flow, but it's a state of mind where, like, if your mind interrupts it or your feelings interrupt it and you get taken off track, you can lose that state of mind and you can go down some other track. And so it's like we have to be careful about where we have opportunities consciously to make decisions to stay on track with it or not. So let me know if you guys have any questions or comments on hi, and I hope you're having a good day. And I hope this is kind of what came through for me to share today, so I won't go super long, but I just wanted to let everybody know that if you are writing, and I have a summer writing group, it's for mermaids, mermaids at heart, people who want to have fun with it, who don't want to deal with a bunch of BS that is a rule that doesn't fit them, and they want to find their own way to tap into their genius, their own way to find flow when it comes to talking to people about what it is you're here to do. And I have a couple spots left open. We're going to start next Thursday, and I'm really excited. And every 2 weeks we do a live call, and I bring to you all these sorts of downloads like I shared today, like important information I think you really need to know, as well as exercises that are going to help you to tap into your genius, because I'm here to help empower you to find your way. And it's a spacious container of 3 months with the live calls, as well as 6 months of Voxer support, so that way you have time to really dig into what is my process? How am I going to get in writing flow? What am I here to say? How can I connect to my audience in a way that's authentic to me and feels right for me, but is not going to invalidate my genius or take me off track? That's really going to be connected to what you're here to do. And whether you aim to inspire people or educate people, you're here to do good, you want to write for a book, for your website, emails, blogs, we've got people working on all kinds of things like that for their course. If you have to bust out a lot of writing and you want to be able to do it yourself and to really be the one creating all that content, this could be for you. It's really for you to be able to share what you're here to share with the world and do it in your own way. And you get to have community. You don't have to be alone. So if you've been feeling like, I kind of have to figure all this stuff out and then I can get some support, well, you don't have to. You can get support right away. And yeah, let me just go through what is included on here. Okay, so we've got the 7 live biweekly Zoom calls. It'll be an hour Zoom with Q&A after to dive into your writing vision, get clear on what to write for the people who need what you have to share. So that is including live exercises and Q&A. I usually, after the hour time where we do the exercises and everything, then I will hang out for at least another half an hour and answer questions. So that starts June 9th, and it's at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it goes until the very beginning of September, every 2 weeks. And then you also get group Voxer coaching for 6 months, where you'll get if you have any questions about what you're writing or how to get into the flow, how to tap into your genius, something you're struggling with, something you want to celebrate, you can share all these things in a private group chat where you can do audio notes or text. And then every Monday I'll go through and I will answer any questions or address any challenges, if not earlier. And that's a $900 value included for free. You also get keys to my online video vault, where I have over 40 plus videos and worksheets that are not shared anywhere else, that will help you to clear the fog and know what to write next, know what your genius and your inspiration is trying to tell you, even if it's not something you can put into words yet. It's really good stuff for when you're not certain on what to do next. You'll be able to find the next best step. That and alone is worth $777. You're going to get it for so much less. So total, with everything included, the lives, the Zoom, the video vault, and plus a few other things like discounts to my future programs. That's $2,912 of value, and you're going to get it for only $777 total, which you can spread out over 6 months for, actually you can spread out over 7 months for $111 each month. And then also, if you are really ready to have that kind of supportive container, you can get a bonus tap into your genius call with me, where we'll spend 60 minutes one-on-one talking about what it is you're working on. And I'm really going to be listening for you and your genius, and I'm really here to help you to tap into what has been bubbling under the surface and what you've always known and what you know about what you're doing right now that you might not have consciously been able to put into words until we get on the call, which is going to save you so much time, and it's going to save you so much angst in terms of like wondering if you're doing things the right way and what your next step is. And so I really like being able to talk to people one-on-one. So that's a massive value. The typical price I would offer somebody off the street would be like $222. So you get that for free. If you want to sign up by next Wednesday, June 8th at midnight, because we're going to start the lives the next day. So you can do that. And yeah, so I'm so excited about all of those things. And if you have any questions about that, please reach out to me and send me a message. And and so I'm excited to be a part of the group myself, because I have my own writing to do, and it'll be lovely to have a community of people who are all going to be different, who are all going to be fun-loving mermaids at heart, and are not going to feel rushed or not going to put pressure in any kind of weird way on ourselves, because we don't need to do that. We can really work on building our muscles of self-trust, trusting our own genius, and letting that be the lead, which is going to look different for everyone. So it'll be really cool to be in this environment where we can be safe in sharing what we're working on in a way that will actually help us to move forward and not result in any BS taking us off track. No, because it's all about moving forward. So I'm really excited about this space. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. If you've made it this far, and hope you have a great day. I'm here. I'm going to be watching the comments if you guys have any responses, and have a great day.